Dominic, congrats on the victory. Just got a question for you. At the post-fight, you made a little bit of a jab at Keith Peterson, congratulating referee Mark Goddard. Question for you is, in that first round, did any kind of flashback go back to the fight with Henry Cejudo? Do you have any kind of doubts or trepidations that they would stop the fight? And what was going through your mind?
I wasn't taking a stab at Keith Peterson. I was giving kudos to Goddard. Do you see how that happens with media? Like, that's always how it happens. It's like, who said I took a stab at Keith Peterson? You did. I didn't. So I'm not mad at you, but I'm saying that's how things get twisted up in this world. I was giving kudos to somebody, and it got twisted into me stabbing at Keith Peterson. That's not true. Me and Keith Peterson spoke one-on-one, eye to eye, and I took responsibility for putting myself in that position. He took responsibility for where his position is in that place. And you know what? Keith Peterson has shown up and done a great job in his fights. I've seen an adjustment. He's let some people go. I mean, I don't know if you've watched his last few fights, but he's let some people go that I was like, yes, please, I wish you would have done that for me. And we're all adjusting in this thing. We're none of us are perfect. I understand that. It pisses me off that happened because, you know, Cejudo retired and I can't smash his face in on a rematch. But if the little dork decides to come back, I'm here.
Dude, Dominic Cruz, man. Take it in the chin, just how my knee hit your damn chin. Jesus, man, you absolutely make me sick. This is why we need referees. It's not like, oh, let me get beat up and let me see if these referees, give me the benefit of the doubt. Like, no, you put yourself there. You put your face on my knee, and I made you bend the knee. There was 13 unanswered shots. Rewatch it, dude. I literally woke you up. I woke you up, and you started to get back up. Yeah, you are right. But after I knock your ass out, you tend to wake people up. But that is completely funny. You make me sick, Dominic Cruz, from you talking smack to your own, commentator, frenemy Daniel Cormier, and then now you want to save the world at the end with your post-press conference. You absolutely make me sick. You contradict yourself a lot more than Conor McGregor or Dana White for that reason.
And with that said, welcome back to the Triple C and Schmo show. I'm the Schmo. My partner's the little dwarf. He is an Olympic gold medalist. He's Dominic Cruz's best friend. He's a champ. He's Henry Triple C Cejudo.
Jeez, I tell you what, Schmo, like I said, man, we have to be able to save these guys from themselves. This is the reason why Pedro Munoz did not smell blood. Pedro Munoz could have finished him. That's the big difference between me and Pedro Munoz. When he had Dominic Cruz hurt, he let Dominic create space and he let him get back to the fight. When I had Dominic snooze hurt, I jumped on him. I threw that knee. I threw that overhand. I mean, come on, look at his damn face. 13 unanswered power shots with one. I only hit him with one right hand, and that was it. Imagine 13 times. Let's count real quick, Schmo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All with my right hand. There's a reason why these refs are saving these guys. They got to save them from themselves. Dominic Cruz, you're the sorest loser I have ever met. And you absolutely make me sick.
Well, he certainly called out the Schmo right there also, but it seemed like he did kind of put a snub towards referee Keith Peterson when he was elevating Mark Goddard. The Schmo is not used to an athlete congratulating the ref and talking about them doing a great job. They're usually talking about the moment and everything like that. The Schmo likes both you guys. Didn't mean to say it like that, but he got mad at the Schmo right there.
Did he? Dude, don't take it personal, man. He's a dick to everybody, Schmo. And that's all there is to it. I know for a fact, Daniel Cormier is just, I know for a fact Daniel Cormier loved the fact that I knocked out his boy, or his boy, as you want to call it. Anyhow, the history, I mean, that's behind us. That's behind him, and hopefully, he can get back in there and maybe fight for the title again. But again, don't put yourself in those positions. That's nobody's fault but yours, Dominic.
And with that said, let's get the show rolling with this week's gold medal moment. Charles Dubronx Oliveira, he submits Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier taps out. We got and still. What are your initial reactions after seeing all that?
Well, I tell you what, dude. Charles the Bronx does a really good job, Schmo. The way he starts the round, he doesn't finish the round as well as he starts the round, because it happened in that Michael Chandler fight where he started off the round very, very well, and towards the ends of the round he kind of starts to lose the round. But when he comes back in the beginning of that second round, the beginning of that third round, he always tends to invest in those rounds, and that's exactly what he did against Dustin Poirier. He really touched up his body. He really brought the pace. He really pressured him. He did an extremely good job. He softened him up, even though he lost again the end of that first round, which I would give it to Poirier. He still came back in that second round, started the wrestling, started touching up the body again, and did the same for the third. And for that reason, he won. He won. But I do see at times with Charles Oliveira, I do see that breaking point with him. That's the only thing that kind of scares me with him, because I do see him kind of fading away. And I wonder with a guy like that's a little more relentless, like Justin Gaethje, that's going to be an interesting fight. But Charles Oliveira did his job. I mean, I think everybody counted him out against that fight. And I'm gonna say it again.
Wait, the Schmo didn't count him out. Remember what the Schmo texted you 2 nights ago?
You did. And I do believe Charles Oliveira is probably the most technical fighter in the UFC. Like, think about it, Schmo. He could submit. He's taking people down. He's a knockout artist. The only thing that really is, man, can he go through that grind? Is he bulletproof? Does he have that experience of going through the hurt? And he showed that this Saturday. You know what I mean? He showed that against Dustin Poirier. So I think he got Justin Gaethje's respect. It's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a good fight. I think the favorite now is gonna probably be Charles Oliveira, because now he's showing that he's not afraid of going for takedowns against anybody.
A lot to unpack with Bronx Oliveira. Let's talk about this guy for a second. The narrative behind him was this guy's a quitter, so on, so forth. But that was so early on in the career. 10th straight victory, the second active longest winning streak in the UFC right now. 29 of his 32 victories have come via stoppage. He does not let the fights go in the hands of the judges. Yes, he was a plus 115 underdog to bet online. We talked about this before. The Schmo texted you couple nights ago. We see Oliveira winning. He gets the submission. This guy's got the most finishes in UFC history. He's got the most submission victories in UFC history. The guy is 7-3 every time he's a betting underdog. Give Bronx his flowers. He gets the job done. You're right. Poirier tagged him. He beat him in that first round. There's a lot of adversity that he had to overcome. There's a lot going on there. And Oliveira, it's a very interesting situation, because we can't wait to see the Beneil Dariush fight with Islam Makhachev, because Beneil Dariush is someone who you can argue's got just as good, just as many BJJ accolades as Bronx Oliveira. We're going to see how the BJJ will stack up against the smothering Dagestan wrestling of Islam Makhachev. But before we get there, we got Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje, obviously we didn't see him tap against Khabib. Is he going to go to sleep? Is his wrestling going to nullify the grappling power of Oliveira? It's an intriguing matchup. And Justin Gaethje's not afraid to throw. He's not going to quit. I can't wait to see that fight. But yeah, Triple C, the question I have for you is, do you side for the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira over the winner of Dariush and Islam?
Yeah, you have to go with Gaethje. I think Gaethje has fought the best. I mean, the way he's been able to, perform and at the highest levels against some of the top tier guys like a Michael Chandler, yeah, he deserves it. I think probably man, this is the thing, man, that the only thing that scares me with Justin Gaethje against Oliveira is he doesn't wrestle during his fights. And I tell you what, Oliveira doesn't mind the wrestling portion, and he's a better striker. I think Justin Gaethje is going to really have to throw out the kitchen sink, beat up that front leg as he typically does, and he's going to have to make this thing into a fight, into a war, use a clinch game, and things of that nature. But, man, I tell you what, Oliveira's not afraid to go to the ground. You take him down, he's good there. He's throwing triangles. He's throwing these unique submissions, even for Islam. I believe Islam will more likely will beat Dariush, even though, I just think he's just a younger guy. He hasn't taken that much damage. He's a great wrestler. I think that fight's going to be nullified. It's probably going to go to Islam. But man, Charles Oliveira, if he's on point, man, I just don't see any of these dudes, any of their styles really taking him out. you're going to have to throw the kitchen sink, and I believe Justin Gaethje is going to be that toughest matchup for him.
Yes, so the Schmo, let the Schmo rephrase that, because I think we botched the delivery on that portion. What I was going to ask you is the side of the bracket of the winner of Islam and Dariush. Do you see that side being the champion, or the side of the winner of Poirier versus Gaethje being the champion, let's say by the end of 2022? Because that's when all this would come together. Who's going to be the champion? Of all those four names, who's going to be your champion?
Man, I want to say Justin Gaethje, because he's the one that he's the one that has the best shot at beating Oliveira. Man, I like Islam, but wrestling is just not enough, man. You're gonna need a lot more to beat this guy. He's gonna train for you to take him down. He's gonna train for that. And don't be surprised if he's able to take down Islam. Those are the two guys that I see now. I think, man, the 155-pound weight division is up in the air. I believe anybody can become champion, but as of right now, with the heart that Charles Oliveira has, man, he's going to be a hard dude to beat.
Do you believe his Cinderella story to the title is, let's say, a bigger Cinderella story than a Michael Bisping? Someone who's been in there, someone who's a Hall of Famer, because we were talking about this maybe before the show started, about Hall of Fame type stuff.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Schmo, is Bisping was granted a title shot. He ran his mouth to get a title shot. It's different, man. Charles Oliveira earned that, man, from the beginning, from scratch to looting to almost getting cut from the UFC to going on this 10-fight win streak and beating the best of the who's. I'm sorry. And no, this is much greater. This is much more well deserved than a guy like Michael Bisping. This is a future Hall of Famer right here. He's been breaking records with the most submission, most finishes. I mean, Charles Oliveira, he's a real deal, man. He is the real deal. And 2 more fights and he surpasses Khabib. They're going to be saying Khabib who.
And now let's move on to this week's silver medal moment. Juliana Pena with a huge upset over Amanda Nunes, who is the consensus GOAT in the female division. What do you make?
That's right. You hit the nail on the head. The female division. I tell you what, this was a battle, as Juliana Pena said, it was a battle of will. She did not back down from the women's GOAT, Amanda Nunes, and she brought the heat. Even though she lost that first round, she knew that she had to go for broke for that second. And she didn't bite. She didn't just back down. She bit on her mouthpiece. She went out there and she went blow for blow. And Amanda Nunes couldn't take it. And as she said, I'm going to quote her, she said she checked out. In other words, she quit. She quit. She didn't want to fight. I think it got too much. Juliana Pena's legs weren't even in. There was a slight choke in that she just decided just to check out. Again, I'm quoting her. So congratulations to Juliana Pena. She went out there. She was determined. She brought the heat. And I tell you what, guys, it is all about the attitude, Schmo. She brought the attitude, and I believe that was the difference in this fight, and she didn't back down. This was a victory all due to will.
You said the word will. The Schmo was just about to say it. Her will to win outweighed the fear of losing completely. That first round, Amanda Nunes took it to her. But in that second round, when she started landing shots and they were trading blow for blow and keeping on the feet, and now Amanda Nunes is not going to back down to anyone. We saw what she did to Cyborg over in Inglewood when she took Cyborg to the side of the cage and started hammering away, and she beat her in the fist fight. Well, guess what? Juliana Pena didn't back down, and she took it to her. Obviously, she is now the first female to have given birth and be a champion. The Schmo did not see this coming. We were thinking the Mackenzie Derns. We were thinking of the Karate Hottie, the Michelle Watersons. But congratulations, Juliana Pena, for being the first woman to have given birth and be the champion in the UFC. Now, this was the 4th largest upset in UFC history. Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey. That was a bigger upset by the betting odds. The Matt Serra against GSP, and then Renan Barao losing to TJ Dillashaw. This was the 4th. But to you, Triple C, what is your biggest upset in UFC history? Because the Schmo would argue this is right up there with Matt Serra GSP.
No, the biggest upset was a guy that had 11 title fences and that knocked his opponent out 2 minutes and 36 seconds, I believe it's me and Demetrius Johnson. But we don't get that credit. Why? Because we're just nothing but some flyweights. But I believe that's the biggest upset in UFC history because numbers don't lie, and he had knocked me out before. But that's just the way I see it. It is a big upset, but man, flip a coin.
Well, Triple C, it was a big upset, but listen, let's not cut yourself short here. You're an Olympic gold medalist, man. And it's not like you were just some shortcoming here. There's a reason why you got the rematch with Demetrius Johnson. Hey, the betting odds, the gods, they knew you had a good opportunity to get that gold.
Yeah, I think I was like a 5-1 underdog. It was a whole 5 rounds. Like I said, I tell the people all the time, like I wouldn't be surprised if they would have given it to Demetrius Johnson because it was such a close fight. But at least we fought for 5 rounds. This wasn't a second round finish or a third round finish. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was the difference in an upset in a fight that really took place where nobody checked out, and that's it.
Do you believe? With what happening yesterday and Kayla Harrison in attendance to the UFC, put her on the Jumbotron, she's all over the screen, that Juliana Pena getting this victory, that kind of ruins the plans of Kayla Harrison coming to the UFC?
I still think I've always thought this. I've always thought that Chris Cyborg is, even though she got knocked out by Amanda Nunes, it goes back to she's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, she's ruled for so many years and she was a pioneer. I mean, anybody can count with an overhand, but when you get hurt and you literally go through this like punishment of losing, I just think it's just a little bit different, Schmo. But I think Kayla Harrison should sign with Bellator and fight somebody like Chris Cyborg, because at this time the featherweight division in Bellator is a lot tougher and a lot deeper than the
Yes,
UFC.
and with that said, I mean, now that Amanda Nunes is lost and Dana has said that he'll keep this division alive, we just saw Felicia Spencer retire recently, that he'll keep it alive as long as Nunes is fighting. But now that she's lost, and I know it was a bantamweight, we could see the UFC getting rid of this featherweight division. And we like what you said about Kayla Harrison and Bellator, because Bellator might be willing to have a one-fight deal with her to make this fight happen. We'd love to see it, and this is what this happens. This sport's so unforgiving, so unpredictable, and we think that next fight should happen for Kayla Harrison. Not in the UFC now. It should be Chris Cyborg and Bellator. We like it.
It should be. But Kayla Harris is that type of person that she will take a pay cut in order for her to be the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's, obviously you make PFL, they just threw all kinds of crazy money at her. I mean, millions of dollars. The UFC is not going to do that. Bellator will outprice the UFC. But I think Kayla Harrison probably wants that stardom. She wants that popularity because not too many people know who she is. But we'll see. We'll see what she offers. But if I was to tell Kayla if you want the toughest competition, you got to.
It wasn't an automatic that she'd fight her teammate. I mean, they trained together at American Top Team and Amanda Nunes. It wasn't an automatic, next fight, she's fighting her. She's coming to the UFC. She's there to scout. No, she was there cheering her on. The Schmo watched her stand the entire time. Heck, she blocked Roxanne Modafferi's view from watching the fight the entire time. She was standing. We saw it. Let's move on to the bronze medal moment. Speaking of standing, have you noticed what the Schmo's wearing, by the way? Sugar Sean O'Malley, some of the best merch in the game. Unranked champ, number 15, baby. What do you make of the Sugar Show? Is he legit now? To you.
No, I don't know, Schmo. I mean, he's good, Schmo, but is he the top tier guy? I don't know, Schmo, because he's not fight somebody in the top 5, man. All right, then take that shortcut. Fight somebody in the top 5. Fight somebody in the top 10. They're handpicking him. You heard Dana White. He's 27 years old, dude. Like, when is he going to be ready? Like, that's, to me, it's just, I get it, though. I get Sean's perspective that he's got to fight, but if you want respect from a legend like myself or a legend that, like a GSP and all these other guys, like, we all see you, Sean, as an entertainer, bro. Go out there, beat somebody, go out there, capture your belt, fight for the belt, take that road. But I get it too. And he's right. He's in the fight business. He ain't in the fight game. He's in the fight business. They're gonna give him another tomato can that doesn't understand distance, that's not gonna kick his legs, and he's gonna do the same thing. It's ridiculous, man. The UFC is just handing out money.
When Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are sitting there and they're winning championships and they're being dynasties, they're not the flashiest team. Sometimes they win it with defense. Sometimes they win it with special teams. And sometimes Tom Brady did get the job done with the arms, but it didn't matter. They got the job done and they won. When it comes to Sugar Sean O'Malley, he talks a big game. It'd be different if he just went in there and he just made it a boring fight and he got a decision victory. No, he's doing what he says he's going to do. He's knocking the guys out. He said he was going to take Paiva's lights out. He's got the crowd behind him. He's got a pop behind him. He's the guys in front of him. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's finishing them.
Yeah, but that's organized crime, Schmo.
But Paiva was ranked 15 when the fight got booked. When the fight got booked, he was a 15th ranked guy.
At what? At flyweight? I think he was
bantamweight. No,
guy.
He's always bantamweight. He beat Kyler Phillips, his teammate, in the fight prior to. Kyler Phillips, he's a team alpha male guy. All right, fine. So he came in as a flyweight, but he's not been fighting as a flyweight. He's been beating bantamweights, and he was ranked 15 when this fight was initially booked. But you're right. What would be next for the Sugar Show? He's already told the Schmo he's willing to fight Adrian Yanez, and Adrian Yanez is a guy that is deserving of a rank or is one fight away from being a ranking and is someone who the Schmo believes can be fighting for a title in that division.
That should be his next fight, and I do see Adrian Yanez actually beating him. That's a competitive fight that I would like to see. Okay, you just want to pick strikers, then pick a good counter striker that has that Mexican style that's gonna come forward, that's gonna kick, that's gonna punch, that's gonna do all that. I like that fight with Giannis. Like as of right now, Schmo, Sean O'Malley, I get it, he's an entertainer, but that's all he is to me. And again, that's why I don't care what people say. You know who I care what people say? Are the freaking legends, the former champions. He's an entertainer. If you can go out there and beat Giannis, which I don't think you will, but if you can, Sean O'Salty, then kudos to you, man. But I want to see you beat somebody that you could that's worthy of you saying, all right, man, Sean O'Malley's got a heart. Sean O'Malley can he really beat that guy. I can't believe it. Not, man. It's organized crime what the UFC's doing. They're giving you guys for you to entertain, for you to beat up, and you're doing it. Kudos to you, but will you ever become a champion? I just don't think so. You're 27 years old. Step up your game. You want to fight the best. Go out there and get your fights. If I was you, Sean O'Malley, and I hope you're listening to me, I would get that rematch with Chito Vera if you're that good. But you won't, and you still believe that you are undefeated. And reality is you're defeated.
I like that Cheeto rematch, and the Schmo believes that we got to see that down the line. But we would agree in the sense that if he fought right now a Merab Dvalishvili or Ricky Simon, two guys with that wrestling base, that wrestling background, they would lay on him. They would take him down. It would be a boring fight, or they'd finish him on the ground. Whatever it would be, or it would be a decision. Who knows? It would be a boring fight, but they'd control him the entire time. That's not the business of what Sean O'Malley does. He wants guys that will engage, stand with him, and bang on the feet. Cheeto's willing to do that. Giannis is willing to do that. Either of those two would be a great next option for Sugar Sean O'Malley. We got to see it. But it's an interesting play here because it's in the balance of entertainment and skill. And coming from a legend as yourself, Triple C, we 100% hear you out on that. And it's just the Sugar shows. That's not where we're at right now with this.
Yeah, he's an entertainer. He's in the fight business. He's not in the fight game. I get exactly what he's saying. He doesn't want to fight the top tier guys. He's after popularity. He ain't after gold, and that's different. I mean, look, you want to see my trophy room behind me? You know, see, I can have Sean O'Malley come over here and shine all my trophies.
If the money's green, though, he'll take anybody. He'd fight Peter Yan if he got the championship money.
Yeah, but that's not the way it works, Schmo. But Dana White might give it to him. The way Dana is, he might just let him cut the whole damn line. You got to be somebody in the top 10. You got to be somebody in the top 5, and then give him a title shot. But I don't think he'll get that far. Just for the simple fact that he's not. He hasn't been challenged. He hasn't been through the war. Once you're through the war, you can surpass that war, like a Poirier or fighters that have gone through, like a Gaethje, that have survived. It's just different. Sean O'Malley, he'll break, man. He cracked on the Cheeto Vera. That's why I want to see that fight again. If you're that good, fight the guy that knocked you out, dude. But the UFC, they're about numbers. And anyways, I feel like I hate on Sean O'Malley a lot. I'm just like, I want to see more out of him, Schmo. I want to see him fight somebody that's that you'd be like, all right, man. You know what I mean? Oliveira was the first guy that I called that one. I said, Oliveira's going to hurt this dude. He's just his experience that comes in. He's kicking that front leg. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. I feel like I hate on Sean.
Well, let's quickly go to the guy that Sean O'Malley wanted to have a face-off with, that engaged with the most in the press conference. Cody "No Love" Garbrandt made the debut at flyweight. Gets knocked out by Kai Kara France. Guy you know well. What next for Cody Garbrandt, man?
Cody Garbrandt needs to fight Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley's doing his job. Fight him. He's gonna beat up Cody. Cody hasn't won a fight since I think 2017. He won one fight against his son. I don't know how Cody is ranked both in the flyweight
just
and
bantamweight,
the
not ranked in the
losses.
flyweight. He's ranked 7, I believe, as of now in the bantamweight.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous, man. Like he needs to find better tactics the way he fights. He really has man. He doesn't have a chin, man, Schmo, to say the least. And I'm not hating on the guy, but that's just the reality. It had nothing to do with the weight cut. He gets clipped in the chin, man.
Can he ever get that back?
Probably. I don't know. He's probably gonna have to need a big layoff, but it probably has to go back to his training. He probably gets hit a lot in sparring, and that's the stuff that really weakens you. So if Cody's watching this, man, I wouldn't fight, man. I wouldn't compete. I would just learn, and go through the learning process. Literally, let your chin heal, let your head heal. I'm sorry, and then come back and fight again. But until that's done, Cody, is like, I just don't see you not getting clipped and you not going down, dude.
All right, that may have bled into pillow fights, so let's now move into this weekend's past top moment. It's going to none other than the big man, Tai Tuivasa. 4 straight wins, 4 straight knockouts. Getting the shoey on par. The Schmo's got his shoe. Schmo shoe. We got our no respect Rodney Dangerfield. We got our hard seltzer, just like Tai Tuivasa did with the Happy Dad. And let's go do a shoey Triple C, huh? Let's go do a shoey.
Now, I know for a fact, Schmo, that you disinfected that thing. You're a germaphobe.
Where's your shoe? Where's your shoe?
Here we go. I ain't doing that. You kidding me, dude? Kings don't do that.
Well, Tai Tuivasa, let's give him his flowers, man. He gets the freaking knockout. The guy comes out to some of the best walkout music. The guy is just cooler than a cucumber. He gets the job done, hops on the cage, catches the beer. Stone Cold Steve Austin approved. Give me a hell yeah. Drinks it down, takes everybody in front of him, and man, oh man, Tai Tuivasa, this guy had lost 3 straight not too long ago. We're talking about, shit, is the UFC going to cut Tai, one of the most entertaining guys? Bam, bam, turns it around. He's just been on a streak. He's entertaining. He's got the shoey thing going. He'll drink from anybody's foot, anybody's shoe. Doesn't matter if you spit in it, you put hot sauce in it. Tai Tuivasa, this week's top schmoment. Ugh, that's gross. The Schmo didn't disinfect that. I wish we did. Oh man. All right. Let's go on to pillow fights. I know we already talked about some of these fights, but bing, 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 bing. Let's talk about some other guys. Dustin Poirier, what's next for this guy?
I would put Michael Chandler with him. I think that's the next big fight for him. Michael Chandler versus Poirier. I would do Amanda Nunes, Pena too, and I see Pena beating her again.
135 or 145?
I think that's 135. Well, I mean, she could. That's a great idea, Schmo. But she can easily become a double champ. It's crazy to think about it that way. But I see Pena getting that W again. I think Kayla Harrison needs to go to Bellator, fight a Chris Cyborg, fight somebody that's going to go out there, that's going to really go out there and throw some hands. I think it would be a great fight. You're gonna get paid more on the UFC. For Dominic Cruz, I would say he needs to sneak in his shot for. I think he should cut out Jose Baldo, and go out there and take it away from TJ Dillashaw, because this might be a minute. Or he goes up against Dillashaw. Remember, he has a win over Dillashaw. If Dominic is able to sell it correctly, he gets a chance to fight TJ Dillashaw. He beats TJ Dillashaw. He fights for the title.
What about a Rob Font or a Corey Sandhagen? I know they're coming off losses, but they're right there. They're the top 5. Those are the type of guys that put you right back in there in the thick of things in title conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't go against Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen would hurt Dominic Cruz, but I like a Rob Font just for the simple fact that the wrestling stuff, and he's a little awkward. But I would do that.
Sean O'Malley. We both agreed that it should be either Adrian Yanez or Cheeto Vera too.
Yeah, or what about Cody? What about Cody Garbrandt? They already did a face-off.
So
There's
Cody
already been
goes
jibber
back
jabber.
up to 135.
Yeah, he doesn't belong at 25. Like he needs to get his technique right. He needs to get his tactic right before he starts going up, or he starts thinking about going up, because there's something that he's doing in training that's not helping him. Not saying about the coaches, not saying about the extreme of the level of intensity that he's doing. That's not going his way. But I would love to see him and Sean O'Malley fight. Just get it over with. Or I would like to see Sean O'Malley fight Adrian Yanez. And I think that would be a good
There
fight.
we go. The Schmo does want to chime in on Dustin Poirier, though, because he lost. This, to me, if you want the money fight and you set it up, this actually legitimizes the Conor McGregor fourth fight. It wouldn't be the third, it would be the fourth fight on Conor McGregor's recovery. Obviously, the Schmo wants to see the Nate Diaz trilogy fight too, especially if Nate Diaz only has one more fight left, and that's the fight you make. But now this legitimizes that fourth fight for Conor McGregor and Poirier. If you want to make that money, charity, Good Fight Foundation.
He could, man. There's so many options. He can fight Nate Diaz. I don't know. I just want to talk about the champs. What are they gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Because if I was at Charles Oliveira's point, and knowing how much money you could make, I would just go straight to Conor. I would sell that fight. I would ask for him on his return, and they would give it to him, because the champ, especially for what he's done in the sport with the most submissions and the UFC history, you're able to make a lot more money. But that's just me speaking. If I was in his shoes, but he is gonna fight Justin Gaethje next. But I would let Conor McGregor cut in line and him make a big payday and knock him out senseless.
And let's wrap this bad boy up on where the Schmo will be this week. Tampa, Florida, Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley 2. It's a boxing match. Obviously, we got Derek Lewis fighting Chris Daukaus at UFC Fight Night in the Apex. But Paul Woodley 2, baby. You got it's Darren. Darren Williams fighting Frank Gore. NFL versus NBA, Pro Bowler, All-Star. A lot going on there. Paul Woodley, too, baby. What are you most excited for?
I'm not even excited on it. Dude, it's becoming a circus Schmo. But whatever, dude. I guess I'll watch it. I ain't paying for that damn pay-per-view, I'll tell you that much. But I'll find a way to see it. I'll catch the highlights. I think I just don't know what to think, Schmo. I wish you guys hit me with the better end on this show, to be quite honest.
Come on! You don't got Woodley rejuvenating himself and beating Jake Paul. He's got a $500,000 bonus if he knocks him out. You don't like that?
Whatever, dude. I don't know what to say, Schmo. I'm just like, dude, I want to see guys like Oliveira versus, the top. I want to see the top tier guys. These are just entertaining fights, man. You know what I'm saying? These are just amateurs fighting.
Fair play. All right. Well, then we better end the show on a better note than that, though, Triple C.
I know, Schmo. That absolutely. I mean, whatever, dude.
Whatever. All right, Triple C.
How can I break down that fight? You know what I'm saying? How do I break down these two? You know what I'm saying, Schmo?
All right. Then let's pass it on. Who's getting knocked out? Derek Lewis or Chris Daukaus?
Oh, man. Probably Daukaus, man. Derek Lewis has been proven to put people out, dude.
Well, he's got to rebound from that Cyril Gahn fight, man. His output wasn't there in the home state of Houston. Feel like he's got the chip on the shoulder, and you got Chris Daukaus.
Maybe his balls were hot.
His balls need to be hot. Maybe they were cold. They got to heat up. Got to heat up, get the fire inside Derek Lewis. The Black Beast. It's always entertaining watching that guy. And Bilal Muhammad against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Big fight in the welterweight division.
Yeah, there's a lot of great fights. But that's what I'm talking about, Schmo. These are the fights that I'm telling you about. Styles that make fights with Bilal Muhammad versus Wonderboy Thompson. This is a guy that grapples, that uses his IQ for just MMA and his strategy. And this is the other guy that uses distance and point fights. These are the fights that we want to see. These are the real fights. Anyhow, those are the fights that I want to see.
Styles make fights. Congratulations, Wonderboy Thompson, and signing your extension with the UFC. What's your name?
I am Triple C.
I am the Schmo in an unranked Chickasha O'Malley jersey. Your favorite player in the game. We are